The first World Tournament arc in Dragon Ball is absolutely legendary for a number of reasons, homies. Not the least of which being that it really cemented the mold for the Shonen Tournament arc as we know it today. While I can't say it was the very first tournament arc ever, it is clear that the blueprint he laid down laid the foundation for so many of the most popular works both inside and outside the genre all the way to the current year. But what's also of note is that even though the first Tenkaichi Budokai laid the foundation for the modern Shonen Tournament arc, what happens in Dragon Ball's first World Tournament is decidedly non-cliche. While most tournament arcs fall in the framework of a kind of gradual escalation, where the fights get more and more intense as the rounds go on and the fated battle between main characters are saved for the grand finals and the like, Sensei Toriyama was real quick to throw the rule book out the window, letting important characters hold massive L's far sooner than you would ever see coming, and overall just taking a massive Bacterian-sized dump on audience expectation. Let's kick, punch, and strip our way into Dragon Ball's 21st World Martial Arts Tournament and yap about what made this moment all the way back in the 80s so special. So after our training arc is firmly in the past and our emotionally dysregulated Bay provided the whole crew with city appropriate drip, the homies hopped on the plane and into a taxi to throw hands with the world's strongest. And as you may have guessed, the ride was plenty eventful, with Roshi damn near losing his flight privileges after sexually harassing a stewardess, and Goku's brain reaching critical mass as he worked to assimilate his George of the Jungle tier understanding of the world with the realities of modern society. Roshi and the kids navigated the packed tournament entryway where the old master informs the teams up front that the two 3-foot tall goblins and fedoras will be entering the tournament. So no need to ask questions and let them cook. Directly after this, we see Krillin and Goku don the now legendary Turtle Hermit Gi, with this moment being the first appearance of that famous drip, and he leaves the two to their task: survive the preliminaries so they can make it to the big stage and put on for the Turtle Hermit School in proper fashion. And so the boys step up to begin their kumite, and while they assess their surroundings and the other fighters consisting of everything from Street Fighter characters, bipedal wolves, and literal aliens, the tournament staff throws down the rules. Battles will be one-on-one and continue until a fighter falls out the ring, passes out, or screams uncle, and the preliminary battles themselves will only be 1 minute long. After that, it will be up to the judges to decide a winner. There's no killing allowed and the use of weapons is absolutely forbidden. With the rules stated, Goku and Krill enter the lottery and get their numbers to place them in bracket. And before Krill can even finish his belly aching about how the old man never taught them to actually throw hands before throwing them to the literal wolves, it was time for young Ningen Goku to step up to the plate. Him getting up on stage here in the preliminaries is one of my favorite frames in Dragon Ball, period. On the sidelines, you got this room full of grown men calling this little fella everything but a son of Kami. The whole while this absolute unit Goku scurries up to the stage, belly out, power posing with a grin that betrays just how comfortable he actually is. The little man was built for this. I hope one day I can be half as unbothered in the face of haters as this man is. But the confidence was not unwarranted, as his opponent, the Iron Sheik, took his place next to Goku in the ring. The agility and strength he gained during his time with the Turtle Hermit showed itself, and little fella wins the fight accidentally when he touches big man's gooch and sends him toppling over. From the outside, everyone thought Armstrong fell over from clumsiness and wrung himself out. But Goku knew what was up and warned Krillin not to use his full strength on these jobbers or they really might end up catching a federal case out here. Well, except for this next fight anyway, because as luck would have it, Krillin ran into some of his old buddies from back at the previous yoga retreat he was in, and they started talking to him unbelievably reckless. Goku, unsure as to why his mans would allow for that kind of disrespect, told his homie to just this one time put some stank into a low tier fight, if not to test his abilities, maybe just to prove a point. And when Krill stepped into the ring, he put that bozo in his uncomfortably sultry eyelids literally through a wall, as all those in attendance looked on in horror. Master Roshi had truly created monsters, and the beatdowns did not stop, with Y and Goku continuing to perpetrate black-on-black crime while Krillin took on Fei Long from Street Fighter 2. The highlight of this match has to be the anime team throwing in Bruce Lee's patented Dragon Stomp, where he hops into the air and comes down directly into his opponent's spine while crying, and all you hear are the sounds of Lee replicating a squeaky door in desperate need of WD-40, and the poor dude on the ground's back sounding like a fresh bag of Pop Rocks. Fortunately for Krillin though, Roshi's training had his back harder than a Ninja Turtle shell after running into April O'Neil, and Fei Long gave up after coming to terms with his opponent being a zombie that he had no realistic hopes of burying. Before long, it was time for Goku's final preliminary match, which was surely just as anticlimactic as all the rest. Young Goku steps up against a world-weary martial arts master, noting all the holes in Goku's defense and is absolutely positive this little Ningen stands no chance against his Shishiga style. He moves forward to strike, only to eat an afterimage like this was a pre-patched Sparking Zero, gets his legs swept, and tossed out of the ring like a lacrosse gym bag into the back of a Jeep. And in just that fashion, Goku was now in the finals. But before we can see how Krillin fares, Goku ran into an old acquaintance that he didn't recognize at first. Yamcha had been utterly gentrified by the Capsule Corp Queen, and it wasn't until he saw the stance of his patented Wolf-Fang fist that Goku recognized that it was his old scent buddy Yamcha who managed to make his way to the tournament finals as well. Goku let Yamcha know that he came to the tournament with another real one he met at Mutant Roshi's, and he's excited to test his limits as well as to keep the lights on at the Kame house. Krillin puts Paddington Bear's uncle into a pack and makes it to the finals of the World Tournament as well, and with relative ease, the two youthful prodigies find themselves preparing for the big stage. One thing I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on though was the wild fan service during this section, as well as the love given to Yamcha in the anime version. Now, it's no surprise to anyone that the Dragon Ball anime is kind of horny, and it's in no small part to the late great Toriyama sensei being a low-key goon lord like nearly all great men are. But what surprised me after watching the anime and manga was how the anime has a whole episode spanning gag involving Bulma and the crowd of the World Tournament doing everything they could to take a gander at Bulma's, which is just nowhere to be found in the manga. This man Oolong was out here fighting for his life for a panty shot. Thirst like this hasn't been seen since the Flint water crisis a few years back. And that man Yamcha is also given way more plot relevance in the anime. As Goku and Krill were preparing for the tournament, we also got treated the brief moments of the rugged and locked in Yamcha fighting for his life in the middle of the Chilean wilderness, looking to perfect his Wolf-Fang fist while leaving Bulma on red. Then in the tournament prelims, Yamcha gets a dedicated match not present in the manga, where they get this fella fighting a literal wolf in order to find out who the real canine is. Insanely enough, it turns out Yamcha had way more dog in him than that wolf did, and ends with Yamcha smoking the poor pup while onlookers glaze him up. So with all our crew making it out of prelims, the real ridiculousness is about to get set into motion. Goku runs with Krillin out to the crowd to track down Roshi and let them know that they got absolutely busy. Both managed to make it out to the finals. When they come out though, Roshi's too busy trying to re-up with Bulma to get a handful of something strange again before she hits Big Man with a gazelle uppercut that would have made my boy Ippo go back to the training room. Bulma reveals that she tried to visit Goku during their time away, but Roshi's whole ass house was gone and she didn't know what happened. Goku introduces Krill to his OGs, and YN Goku spends just a bit chopping it up with his old friends, with Oolong letting him know that he put everything on the line with Goku winning this one, and if he takes an L, he's getting trafficked, so don't let him down. As Goku and Krillin make their way back to find their place in the finals, Master Roshi goes mysteriously missing again as well. Wild how that definitely won't be a plot thread coming up. And as the boys meet the announcer homie for the first time, they get their first look, or should I say whiff, of the upcoming competition, as this 8-foot tall behemoth, grown ass man, makes his way through the crowd leaving nothing but stench, death, and broken dreams in his wake. Here we have Bacterian, my friends, a top 5 Dragon Ball character ever in my book, and Toriyama's writing style perfectly distilled into one character. Legend has it that this man possesses Herculean strength, but rarely needs it because his raw odor makes opponents pass out before a single fist is necessary to be thrown. Word is he hasn't taken a bath since the day he was born, ensuring his place in Smash Brothers as well as World Tournament history. And here, homies, with the smell of death in the air is where we're gonna call it. Tune in next time as we get into the World Tournament Finals, which I promise for those who haven't seen it is something you ain't gonna wanna miss. Match 1 starts with Krillin versus Bacterian, one of the foulest, most visceral head-to-head battles in anime history. Will Krillin be able to smell what Bacterian is cooking in enough time to stop the oven? Only one way to find out. Be easy, y'all. Catch you again in the next video.